Okay, appreciate this very much, Mike. I'm trying to be multimedia. You got to do a lot. You got to jump through a lot of hoops. That's how it is.
Yeah. If you're doing one-on-one with the Brown Bears, you're working hard.
It doesn't get much better, no question. I had Jay Wright this morning, so hey, Villanova Brown. It's a busy day. Is what it is.
A lot of similarities there.
That's it. All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Kevin Mack Sports Hour here on WPRO, and we're really excited about, as usual, hosting Brown basketball on AM 790 this season, and very welcome to have Brown head coach Mike Martin on the eve of his season. And Mike, first of all, great to see you, of course.
Kevin, great to see you. Great to be with you.
Hey, how many days has it been? I know that you've probably been crossing them off the whiteboard. The last time you guys played was, I guess it was the last regular season game of 2020.
Yeah, I do not know the amount of days. I've purposely not thought about it. I've not talked about it around my team because you know what, Kevin, we expect a great season, and there's no reason we shouldn't have a great season. So these guys have been playing basketball their entire lives, and it's been a little bit of a pause, but we've had a lot of work in the gym, during that whole time. And these guys are like starving for competition right now.
Yeah. So Mike, obviously no basketball last year, Ivy League rules, no Ivy League sports last year. How nervous were you that some of your players, your better players, your not so better players would scatter and leave Brown?
Certainly it was on my mind, and it was a concern, and, it'd be lying if I said it wasn't. I do think we've, worked hard to, build a great culture here at Brown. And I know that's used all the time, but, the people we have and their values and their habits, I think, make up a really strong culture. Obviously the degree here at Brown, the institution that we're so fortunate to be part of, it's hard to leave. And, obviously, the guy who jumps to mind is Tamanang, right? Who was getting the degree anyways and could have played probably at the Power 5 level, high major level if he wanted to this year. His loyalty and his commitment to Brown and his, wanting to be here and finish off what has been a terrific career in a Brown uniform, that means a ton to our program.
Yeah, I asked that not only for T-Cho, but also, you turn on the TV last year and some really good Ivy basketball players happen to be on, Michigan, and you can probably list them off. So it was certainly a possibility. Did it affect many schools around the Ivy League?
It did. I mean, I think so. What you saw last year was a combination of some guys who had decided to leave before their graduation day, and then a lot of others who were taking advantage of the fifth-year eligibility. That they missed one of those 4 years at their school in the Ivy League and played it as a grad student elsewhere, which was not an option at Brown until just this year, or in the Ivy League until just this year. Fortunately, the Ivy presidents in February, Kevin, decided to have a one-time waiver for last year's seniors like Tamanang Cho, and he decided he wanted to come back. And there was, even though the Ivy League wasn't playing, there were still Ivy League former players that were playing last year. It was interesting.
We're with Mike Martin, the head basketball coach at Brown, here on the Kevin Mack Sports Hour. Mike, you mentioned T-Cho. I'm going to mention Jalen Gainey. Those are the two guys who I think fans are most familiar with. Great building blocks, maybe the best 1-2 front court punch that you've had. How have they improved in a season where they, in an off season where they obviously didn't get a chance to play it all last season?
Yeah, I'm dying. And obviously T's gotten a lot better. He's, just physically stronger, and he's got, he's shooting the ball better. He's playing at such a good pace offensively, not forcing things, but when he needs to go make a play, he is. And he's really been efficient so far in our practices. But I'm dying for people to see the improvement of Jalen because, and he's battled, both of them have battled some preseason, knick-knack injuries, but they're both healthy and available and ready to go tomorrow night. But Jalen, all the work he did last year when we didn't play in practice, his shooting, his touch around the basket, not necessarily going to step out and shoot threes, but like his touch in the low post, his touch, rolling and ball screens. His body's physically bigger and stronger. He's probably 215, 220 pounds now, as opposed to 205, 210. And, he's another one that just, the game is slowing down. When you play and you get older, usually the game slows down. And I think both guys definitely, the best front court we've had in our time here. And I think they'll compete favorably with a lot of people we play.
So we'll see Jalen still be a defensive force, but maybe much more of an offensive option for you.
Yeah, and again, I think he's probably more of a finisher as opposed to a playmaker, but we can throw it into him every once in a while, and he can definitely create offense, from the low post, but just a dynamite finisher above the rim. And also, like, if you get it to him on a ball screen and the defense comes to help, maybe 5, 6, 8 feet from the basket, he's got a nice little touch shot that he can make consistently as well.
So, Mike, awful lot of new faces. I saw you practice last week. Awful lot of new faces, especially at the guard position. I think Brown fans will remember Dan Friday, who was a promising freshman at the time. But what does your backcourt look like right now?
Yeah, so tomorrow night we'll start Dan at the point and Paxton Wojcik at the 2, who's a transfer from Loyola Chicago. He's a junior. He's our leading scorer in the Brown-White scrimmage we had a couple weeks ago. Tough, competitive, high IQ, really good defender. David Mitchell will, kind of be there at the swing, with Jalen and T in the front court. So it's an experienced group. But we've got a lot of options off the bench in the backcourt as well. Some new talent, in the freshman and sophomore classes. Perry Cowan is back as well. Josh Watts is back. Both of those guys got minutes as freshmen. Noah Marin's eligible now, transfer from Skidmore, Moses Brown alum. So, we definitely have a lot of options, just not as proven as our front court. But I think people will see that our backcourt will compete very well as well with the people they play against.
So in a typical college basketball year, you have a transfer, you have a freshman with promise. You're like, well, they might take a while. We're not really sure. In this circumstance, so many transfers are across college basketball, people relying on maybe 2 or 3 starters who are transfers. Are these different transfers? Are these different? Like you said, you have sophomores who didn't play as freshmen. So they're really freshmen because they haven't played college basketball yet. So do you think that you have a situation where you might have quite a few guys who just need, game reps to work up to speed?
I'm sure that'll be the case. And we're going to, 3 of our freshmen are going to be in the mix right away. They're going to play a ton off the bench. Aaron Cooley, Nana Owusu-Anane, and Keno Lilly. So I'm sure that there's going to be growing pains with those guys, but they've earned it, in the 6 weeks of practice that we've had. They've earned the opportunity to play big minutes for us right away. Some of our transfers, they at least have game experience at the college level. So, maybe a little bit less growing pains for them. But the best thing about all of that I just said is that there's T. Cho and Jalen Gainey and David Mitchell to lean on as guys who've been through it. And they're, T's in his 5th year, Jalen and Mitch are both in their 4th year, and they know, they know what to expect.
Mike, 2 more. So you open with Salve Regina, you have Johnson and Wales next week, I believe. But in between, you got a school down in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, that you're going to go see on, I think it's Friday night. I know scheduling is really a challenge for you. What do you think about the placement of North Carolina? And yeah, I guess, you can't be picky. You want to play North Carolina and challenge yourself. They say Friday, you'll be there Friday.
That's pretty much how it went down. Yeah. And you don't want to hear me just say we're, obviously coach speak, but I mean, it's the truth. We're focused on Salve, right? We're not, thinking at all or talking at all about North Carolina right now. We've got our hands full tomorrow with the firepower offensively that Salve brings. Yeah, you know what? We one of our thoughts, Kevin, philosophically, is because we recruit nationally and we have guys from all over the country. We want to get them at least one home game if we can during their 4 years in front of friends and family. Jalen was fortunate; he's getting 2. He had 1 at Duke and he's got 1 at Carolina.
That's right. Yeah.
So this is a homecoming for him, and he's going to have a lot of friends and family down there. But it's an opportunity for us to be on national TV. It's an opportunity for us to play against a program who's top 25 this year and has all kinds of history and tradition. So that's good for our program as we try to build and become an Ivy League championship level program. I think, you have to have, those types of games in your non-conference.
Also play Bryant and URI this year. Just a little bit about those teams and the obviously you've been to Providence a lot to see Ed Cooley. It seems as if all 4 schools in the state this year can be very competitive.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if all 4 of us are in the bracket in March? That'd be a great
sign me up for that. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, obviously Jared, we have them late November Bryant, just done an amazing job, I think, building that program in a short amount of time with the level of talent, but also the work and how hard they play and the support that they're generating throughout their campus and throughout the state, really. And then obviously ultimate respect for David and, know what a huge challenge that'll be when we go down there, and the level of talent and, athleticism and how hard they play and how smart they play. And then, Ed, I'm rooting for him like crazy, and want him to, continue to lead the Friars and, win a lot of games in the Big East and get into the NCAA tournament. And maybe one day, Ed, will let his good friend back in the dunk for a game in the non-conference. That'd be awesome.
I'm going to play peacemaker. No, I shouldn't say peace. I know you guys are close, but maybe I can facilitate that. I'll give it a shot anyways, because after all, I'm really excited about being an analyst on Brown Radio on AM 790. I won't be there 100% of the time, but I hope that's okay, Mike. You're going to see my face across from your bench from time to time.
It's more than okay. Brown University and Brown basketball is lucky to have you, Kevin. Thanks for helping out.
Great. Hey, best of luck, Mike, this season. We'll check in again soon.
You got it.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.